This is an opportunity. Why not take advantage of this and benefit from it financially?
When does an entrepreneur realize and admit that this isn't my field? Let me look for something else that has greater potential.
You grow through challenges.
The medical product market in general, and pharmaceuticals in particular, is fiercely competitive.
Egyptians go to Saudi Arabia and leave Egypt. Why are you going to Saudi Arabia? Imam Ali says, seize opportunities, for they pass by as quickly as clouds.
What can Egyptians here at Nabdaat help with? You feel that people truly appreciate quality. Usually, some Egyptian youth after finishing university start thinking of improving their future. So they aim to go abroad. Since ties with the kingdom are strong, is the top choice, even for ordinary people. The first thought is always, I'll go to Saudi Arabia, work there for a while, and return. But today's example is different. Rashad said, no, I'll go to Egypt, prove myself, and succeed there. It's an odd idea, but it led to big success. He's a dentist. He went there. He did extremely outstanding work that moved him to the next stage, which is entrepreneurship. He wasn't satisfied with just dentistry, but asked himself, why not start in entrepreneurship as well? And over time, things grew even bigger, and he became a businessman with several companies, achieving various successes and trying to be one of the bridges connecting the Saudi and Egyptian markets. A truly inspiring and very unique story. We absolutely had to host its protagonist, Dr. Ali Al-Faran. I've traveled all over the world.
God bless you.
Your presence here is an honor.
God protect you.
Who is Dr. Ali Al-Faran?
Dr. Ali Al-Faran is a dentist. He loves to break barriers and take on challenges. And he turns these challenges into opportunities for growth. And that specifically is probably what made me choose dentistry as my specialty. And by the way, I actually graduated from Egypt. I graduated from Miss University for Science and Technology in 2008. From 2003 to 2008, I was here in Egypt. And this period shaped me. It gave me the opportunity to get to know Egyptians and build a network of relationships that later helped me become culturally and socially connected to Egypt. So as a result, I never really cut ties even after I graduated. And by the way, even after I decided to take the step of entering the field of investment, I studied for a master's in business administration in Egypt. So that's what made me always lean more towards Egyptians wherever I am, whether at an airport, a conference, or whether it's medical or investment related or anything else. You'll always find me siding with the Egyptians.
Nice. You finished and you had several colleges to choose from, one of them being the Faculty of Medicine. In the kingdom, 99% of parents at that stage would tell you that's it, it's settled. I don't even need to talk to you. Either way, you're going to college, but you did the opposite. You left the whole country and all the colleges behind and went somewhere else. This was easy to accept.
For me, of course, but for my mother and father who were worried about my future, especially since at that time, even King Abdullah's scholarship program, may God have mercy on him, hadn't started yet. So we went at my father's expense. I mean, I was absolutely determined and genuinely motivated to enter the field of dentistry. Because dentistry uniquely combines two important specialties, medicine and engineering. So this gives you even more interesting and complex challenges to solve and overcome. And by nature, I'm definitely a bit of a risk taker, always eager to embrace new experiences. So that made me determined to pursue dentistry. All right, after I finished studying dentistry, of course, there were many different challenges from various specialties and so on. Over the course of more than 15 years, I gradually reached a point where I truly felt like I had handled all the challenges I could possibly face as a dentist, at least as far as I could imagine. I said, okay, now the positioning or the social status that my specialty as a dentist has given me, and the financial capability I have reached, thank God. Let's look for other challenges. And because the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that 9/10 of provision is in trade, I wanted to start a business. But in order to start a business, you need to have the basics of investment. That's why I started studying for a master's degree in business administration or healthcare management. This one,
Let's go back to your college days during your time at university. Were you the type who focused solely on remote study, number one? Or were there extracurricular activities on the side?
no, I was focused on my studies, and I like to concentrate so that I can be a tough competitor. I graduated second in my class.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. The skill of focus, some people point out that it's one of the most important skills that anyone aiming for successful outcomes should have.
Of course, sometimes if an opportunity comes along and you're truly prepared for it, you need to seize that chance without hesitation, because opportunities like these don't always come around often. Sometimes, if you're late to act, or if you hesitate for even a moment, or if something distracts you, you might end up missing out on something important or valuable that could have made a real difference in your life. Of course, after you study it and try to, even your risk management, or even if you're taking risks, you have to make sure it's a calculated risk. You have to do your best to stay on the safe side at all times as much as possible.
So it shouldn't be a bet or a gamble, just a risk. But there should be a fallback plan. It's not about just succeeding and reaching the sky. If I lose everything, then I'm not even there anymore, right? Great, sir. You graduated second in your class. I am done with the academic field. You could have done a master's and PhD, gotten a university job, and followed that path. Since I'm someone who's interested in academics.
What you're saying is true. And by the way, the specialty closest to my heart is jaw surgery or maxillofacial surgery. Oh, Laura, I tried several times. Actually, it was about 3 separate times to apply for the Saudi board. I passed the exam, but for some reason, I just couldn't manage to get through the interview.
God had something else planned for you.
That's true. And after the third interview, when I saw the result, I realized I had reached the conviction that I needed to shift to another path. Let's look for another path that we might be able to continue on.
When should an entrepreneur have the mindset that this isn't my field? Let me look for something else that might bring greater good. Some people, maybe in your field, they say, I'll try once, twice, even 10 times, and I'll keep struggling and persevering to achieve my dream no matter what.
That might actually be a positive thing, that you keep going and continue to push forward even when things get tough. But you also have to know there are limits to what you can do. You can't keep going endlessly without considering your own well-being or the consequences of pushing yourself too far.
How do I know what those limits are? As an entrepreneur, when can I distinguish between something that's just stubbornness with no positive outcome and something that's perseverance and struggle that will eventually lead to something good?
For me, it really depends on your own personal direction and your specific needs. As a dentist, I have reached a level of knowledge and expertise where, after working for about 15 or even 16 years in the field, I can confidently speak as an expert. So the fact that I'm studying more comes with more responsibilities. This might actually distance me further from my family, while what I really need is to be closer to my family, or that the financial aspects are what I focus on, since the needs of life keep increasing. So I have to increase and diversify my sources of income. Now, there are several ways to diversify your sources of income, such as advancing in your professional standing through a master's degree, or even a PhD in the same specialty. Or perhaps I could enter other fields. So I wanted to try. And honestly, it worked out right away. Usually the things that are truly meant for you just go smoothly, and everything simply falls into place easily, not with difficulty or struggle, but with a sense of natural flow.
So among the factors you mentioned in the text is the idea of family. Most entrepreneurs at the beginning of their careers are not number one. You always hear complaints that at the start of your career, you're working 14 or 15 hours a day, and all your time is devoted solely to your company or your field. As for the family, I'll just put that on hold for a while until I establish myself, and then I'll give them their due rights.
I can't deny that this did happen at the beginning, but let's say with setting priorities and organizing work, I wake up early. I get up at dawn and organize my priorities. what are the tasks that I need to do and finish today? So by organizing and practicing this, you'll be able to reach a balance where you can give everyone their due rights. And of course, I can't deny my wife's patience with me, her support, her understanding of my situation, and how she helps me and creates a suitable and comfortable environment so that I can accomplish things. She understands that when I achieve and grow, it means the family we're building is moving forward to better places.
Is it right for me to share the details of my work with my wife in general? Like when I have a problem, is it okay to say, actually, I have such and such issues? Is there a nice kind of pride in saying the same things? Or should I try to completely separate things? Stay in your own space and leave me my own space.
I share with her more. I mean, honestly, I actually share the good things or things that are specifically related to my professional field of expertise, because I really trust her and her opinion to be completely honest. But the things that might have some issues or problems, I generally prefer to keep to myself so that I don't put any pressure on her.
We shouldn't bring work problems home. Otherwise, I'll end up with chaos on both sides.
As long as I've taken off my work clothes and put on my home clothes, let me just be at home.
So when you go home, do you turn off your phone and that's it? It's family time? Or do you keep checking it every now and then? Sometimes a person sits with his family or his wife or whoever, and the phone is in his hand. He's sending a message, replying to something, doing this and that. So you always get those looks, right? It's you. Are you with me or where are you?
I mean, sometimes, to be honest, sometimes I do that if I'm waiting for something important, just to be honest.
But it's not a constant habit. I mean, it's not normal for the phone to be glued to your hand.
No. Actually, when I get home, the battery is usually dead and I put it on the charger far away from me.
So you're protecting yourself?
Exactly. And I keep it away from me as much as possible to avoid problems too, which is good.
Let's stay on the safe side. Let's stick to honesty. All right, that's excellent. The next stage is when we started to establish the major professional part of our careers in the field of dentistry. This stage is a transition from being a student without many responsibilities to becoming someone responsible with a family and a small traditional business. The competition in it is extremely fierce, and you also enter the market where there are quite a lot of dentists. How did you deal with that?
Me, I didn't work in the private sector.
Nice.
I'm a doctor at the Saudi Ministry of Health.
Excellent. So your main focus was on the government sector and other activities were on the side.
How can I further develop and improve myself as a healthcare professional in order to best serve and support the patient in the best way possible?
What did you feel were the patient's needs that we should be putting more effort into?
Let me tell you, after about 8 or 10 years, I started to realize, in your first year after graduation, when you start practicing and working, you feel like you understand everything. And you think, world, calm down, no one's better than me. But with time and with practicing the profession, you discover that things are just getting by with luck. And that, honestly, if it weren't for God, it's not because you're strong or exceptional.
It's not like you're the best person in the world or anything. No, things are just going along by the grace of God, that's all.
And no matter how much knowledge you have, sometimes you do everything that's written in the medical references, and you do everything you can with the tools you have available, and still the treatment fails. And sometimes you find that this case didn't actually receive all the care it truly deserved, and yet it succeeded. So after a while, you realize that first and foremost, it's all by God's grace. Secondly, and unfortunately, this is something they never really taught us in medical school or during our training. Half of the patient's comfort doesn't actually come from the treatment or medication you give them. It's when you show them through your words and actions that you truly and deeply feel what they're going through, the pain, the discomfort, and the suffering they're experiencing. When you finally reach the point where your patient genuinely feels that you completely understand them and you reassure them with empathy and compassion that you're doing absolutely everything you possibly can to help them feel better, that's when real comfort begins. At that point, for me, half of the treatment is complete. The procedure you perform is just the other half, or even just a quarter of the treatment. This is something I only discovered later on, just a part of it.
I don't want to generalize too much, but for some doctors in general, this aspect is missing. I remember some time ago, I went to visit a relative, a university professor at the university hospital. I found someone sitting off to the side crying out and another person being moved on a stretcher. It was like being on another planet. And the doctor in charge wasn't even paying attention to them. So I said to him, there are people here dying on the side. He told me, don't worry about it. Someone will come to them soon. So I felt that over time, it just becomes routine and they get used to these scenes, the broken, the injured, and so on. They start dealing with it as just a case, not as a human being. A case comes to me, I do 1, 2, 3 steps, and they're in pain. Well, of course, they're in pain. Obviously, they're not going to be happy. But the idea that he actually feels it and senses the amount of pain there is to the point that he doesn't even say, get well soon. He just comes in, treats the case, and that's it. Goodbye. On the other hand, the meaning you're talking about doesn't reach some of the doctors. We should figure out how to convey these meanings from the patient's perspective, which are just as important as the treatment itself.
Let me take advantage of this. These words give me the opportunity to thank the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Emir government, for providing, through the Ministry of Health, all the available resources to enhance medical care and attention and to deliver it at the highest possible level by ensuring the availability of all medications, as well as dedicating time and training for doctors so that they open up training opportunities for them to give their very best. The increasing automation of medical care and the introduction of what are called digital health records in modern healthcare systems, in healthcare. The digital transformation is progressing at the highest levels and is competing with European countries and the West, meaning that enormous amounts are being spent. And I speak from knowledge. So this is truly a significant point. And all of this falls under the umbrella of Vision 2030, which was introduced by Prince Mohammed bin Salman. May God protect and preserve him.
Under the category of improving the life of the citizen, or
that is, in other words, improving and increasing the overall quality of life for people. Exactly.
Raising the quality of life. And in the end, society as a whole is made up of individuals. So if you improve their quality of life and they become comfortable, they'll go to work happy, things will be good for them, they'll be productive, and they'll interact with others better. So you'll find indirectly that this issue reflects on the entire society and the whole country. Even though it might seem like something small on the side, no, but it's not small. Its impact is actually huge.
That's right. Providing these things is important, as is the time you can dedicate to treating the patient. Let me talk about my country. Thank God, the salaries are enough for the doctor and his financial needs, so he can cover all his own and his family's needs. This will make a difference for him because it will allow him to give all his time, effort, and focus. And even if, as a doctor, I encounter a case that I haven't faced before, or maybe I have studied it, but I don't have enough familiarity with the best way to handle it, which means I might not be confident in making the right decisions or knowing exactly where to start. Then we go. And by the way, hospitals often provide well-equipped libraries inside them, filled with a wide range of medical books, journals, and digital resources, along with helpful staff who can assist you in finding what you need. These libraries also offer references and even free subscriptions to various medical databases and journals, giving you access to all the latest medical references completely free of charge, so you can always get the most up-to-date information you need to make informed decisions. As a result, this is reflected in better treatment and service delivery.
During the period you were present at the Saudi Ministry of Health, if we asked you what is the most prominent thing you truly felt in terms of development, this is really needed, I was very disappointed. Not just for you, but for me and for the entire dental health sector.
Honestly, the materials, you know that dentistry, every 3 or 6 months, there are new things coming out, materials, technologies, techniques, and so on. Keeping up with international conferences and attending them regularly really makes a difference for any doctor. So you always have to stay up to date with everything new. And having these devices and materials available at the highest standards and having the best possible equipment really makes a difference, even if you have an excellent and highly skilled doctor. But if you don't have good materials, you simply won't get good results. And the opposite is also true.
Excellent. Excellent. We're doing very well in the medical field and everything's going great. So what made us move towards business then?
Because I like to face new challenges. Because in every challenge, there's an opportunity for growth. Solving a particular problem, just the existence of a problem itself. So when you solve it, that's a chance for development and growth. And as a result, you grow through challenges.
But challenges are mentally exhausting. They cause psychological stress. They consume time. They consume effort. They consume money. So let me just stay calm, put everything aside and enjoy my life. That's it.
For some people, that's the best option. But that's not my nature. My nature is different. I mean, let's try some new things. And to further explore the hidden strengths I have, to really think about things I might benefit from.
So how did I first get into the business world?
Which business exactly? Because,
So now we've moved from the stage of, or let's say dentistry, and we're about to open a side field. What did you start with? In business, a private company, cosmetics application. What was the beginning for you?
Okay, so the beginning, let me tell you this story. Go ahead. There was a friend who had a certain problem and needed, let's say, some cosmetic work. The prices that were available as a service in Saudi Arabia were prices for him.
Beyond his means?
They were really, really high. At that time, I was studying for my MBA. So when I found out about this issue, it was around the time I was about to come here to follow up on my exams and my studies. So when I learned about his problem, I suggested to him, come with me, let's see if we can find treatment for you there. So he actually listened and came, and we found someone for him. I mean, a cosmetic surgeon and the head of a department at a hospital. And when he had the operation, I saw that the quality was excellent, and the price was about a quarter to a third of what it would have cost back there.
Excellent.
That made me feel like a light bulb went off in my head. Okay, this is an opportunity. Why not take advantage of this and benefit from it financially?
Nice.
And that's how Nabdaat company started, through this experience.
Tell us about Nabdaat and what came before it. The idea of the MBA up until then, Nabdaat hadn't come into the picture yet. So why did you decide to pursue an MBA?
Nabdaat is both an investment and a company. So in order to start an investment, I realized I needed to have the proper academic background in order to successfully launch my own business. That's why I decided to pursue an MBA.
Nice.
While I was studying for my master's, the opportunity came up through my friend whose name I'll keep confidential out of respect for his privacy, since I don't know if he'd be okay with it or not. That's really good.
So what do you do at Nabdaat?
Nabdaat is a therapeutic journey. It starts by connecting the doctor, the service provider at the healthcare facility, whether it's a clinic, polyclinic, or hospital, with the patient, ensuring that communication and access are established between both parties, whether that's in person, virtual appointments, telemedicine, or even a home visit. These are all options such as those available.
A home visit?
A home visit. After the patient goes for the examination and the doctor checks them, of course, the doctor will request things, for example, scans.
Lab tests, scans?
Lab tests, of course. So in phase 2, God willing, we will integrate with labs and radiology centers so that these tests and scans are uploaded to the patient's file. And when they return to the doctor can provide an accurate diagnosis. We have also integrated with cutting-edge artificial intelligence so that we can provide the doctor with a valuable tool to help reach a more accurate determination and diagnosis of the patient's condition by assisting in reading scans or lab results, and also by suggesting the most suitable medications for this patient's condition.
Excellent. So it's an application available on Android and iOS. Is that correct?
Monday.
Very good. If someone is a patient, they download the application to book an appointment through it. Or what are the features that a patient gets?
The patient gets several features, not just one. First of all, I can guarantee you that through the Nabdaat platform, you will find high quality doctors. Also, there is a loyalty program available within the app. If you wish, by consistently using the app over time, you have the opportunity to collect loyalty points. These points accumulate as you continue to use the app for your consultations. Once you have collected enough points, you can choose to redeem them in a couple of different ways, either by applying them as discounts on your future medical consultations or by exchanging them for a selection of other products that are offered through the app's rewards system. And I shouldn't forget, this is one of the most important points, the electronic medical file for the patient. Having an electronic medical file allows the patient to access it anytime and anywhere. This is available now and will be in the future as well. There will also be other services we'll offer, like medication reminders and other features once we connect it. So as a result, the patient can see the diagnoses they received through the app, the medications that have been prescribed to them, all the details about the medications and their dosages, how many times a day, and also when it comes to x-rays, instead of them getting damaged or lost, they are stored and protected in an excellent way. Lab results can also be uploaded and kept in the electronic file. All of this will help preserve information and assist doctors. It could also be useful for other specialties, as they can refer back to your x-rays, lab results, and the medications you're taking more efficiently and quickly instead of things getting lost and so on. This is especially important because in Egypt, you have a big issue with this matter. Some clinics, or let's say healthcare facilities, do indeed offer this service to patients, but they only provide it for themselves. Meaning, as long as you keep going to that particular facility for your healthcare needs, you can access it. Yes, but what if you go to another facility that doesn't have that specialty? No, I have all the specialties. And as long as you have your file with me, whenever you're consulting with them, they can access and review your complete file. So as a result, they might be able to catch if there's a medication that interacts with another drug or with a certain condition, or it could help in diagnosing a particular case. All of this is taken into consideration regarding this matter.
The complete file and medical history. So instead of going to this doctor and forgetting some scans or tests, and then he tells me to do them again, which costs me extra. No, here you go. This is the full history. So he knows the progression and doesn't have to repeat even the medications or prescriptions. He might end up prescribing a medication again without me even realizing it until I go to buy the medicine. Very excellent. That's from the patient side. From the doctor's side, what are the different features that Nabdaat offers them?
First, transparency and clarity, especially when it comes to important financial matters, are absolutely crucial. Through detailed competitor analysis, we discovered that there's a significant and ongoing issue with financial rights between doctors and some of their competitors. We solved this issue by providing a CRM that is fully transparent and clear within the application for the doctor. All financial matters and related details, you can see everything that has been paid. Whether the doctor or the patient attended your clinic and paid there or paid through me, you can see exactly how much you are owed and how much you owe, how much I took and how much is yours. And you can request to settle financial matters very easily with just one click. We wrap up the matter. That's one aspect. The second aspect, I completely relieve you of the cost of setting up a clinic management system for you properly at absolutely no extra charge. Whether it's for in-person visits, face-to-face appointments, or even as an online clinic providing medical services in various ways. For example, if a doctor has a clinic and wants to create a dedicated specialized system for it, that would definitely cost money and require some investment. What I'm telling you is, as soon as you join me, I'm giving you this tool for free. Just stay with me, that's all. The third thing, medical tourism services. Because we have well thought out plans in place, we genuinely want to bring in other international markets so that more people from different countries come to get medical treatment here in Egypt. Therefore, there are specific and well-defined standards in place, because when we select doctors for important roles, there must absolutely be a guarantee of quality. This ensures that only the most qualified professionals are chosen. In other words, it goes through special standards to ensure the quality of this facility, to make sure it truly deserves to be with us. So when you join us, we can bring you patients not just from the Egyptian market, but we can also bring you clients or patients from other markets as well.
Great. About the point of medical tourism, let's say, for example, there's a patient like your friend who's in the kingdom. He doesn't know where to go, who to deal with, who's good or who's bad. How can Nabdaat help him here?
Everything from the ticket. First, we start by having a virtual or online consultation with him to understand his case and his exact needs. Then we direct him to the right specialty and prepare the treatment plan he requires, including the number of days he needs to stay. After that, we move on to the costs. Of course, after that, we proceed to booking flights, hotel reservations, and even transportation arrangements. We want to connect all of this together through Nabdaat.
You're providing a complete experience. Starting from when he enters, all he needs to do is upload his information.
That's why I personally like to call it a treatment journey.
It really is a complete journey. He uploads his available data. There will be communication between your team and him. You hold an online meeting. You listen to the details. You provide him with the treatment plan along with recommendations. Exactly. Then he comes here, maybe with a companion or someone to follow up with him until he completes the entire treatment journey. And then he returns again. It's truly an amazing experience. Is there any intention to expand beyond the Saudi or Gulf market?
Yes, there is, but let's not reveal everything just yet. I mean, don't make me share everything I have, so I can still have things to announce in the future.
So, in your view, what are the most competitive advantages of Nabdaat compared to other alternatives or competitors?
For whom exactly?
For both sides, whether it's the patient, I mean, I could go on app X or Y and, for example, book an appointment or access some features. And it's the same for the doctor as well. So when a patient comes to you and asks, what's the biggest advantage that would make me download Nabdaat instead of another app? And similarly for the doctor, what's the main advantage that would make me choose your app over a competitor's?
For the patient, the fact that the electronic medical record is available in the application means that all the data, diagnoses, x-rays, lab results, and medications are there. So the entire medical history is with us. And it's easy to access, whether by the patient themselves or by the doctor. And this applies to all the specialties available on Nabdaat. So this is a point that helps with data preservation, easy access, and more accurate diagnoses later on.
Excellent. I'm talking about the triangle of easy access, data preservation, and diagnostic accuracy. Exactly.
Very good. For the doctor, in the end, the most important thing for them is the financial aspect. And this is provided with complete transparency. The second thing I do is provide them with a comprehensive system that they didn't have to pay anything for at all, which means there are absolutely no costs or fees involved for them. This system allows them to efficiently organize and manage every aspect of their clinic operations, making their workflow much smoother and more streamlined. In addition, it also gives them the valuable opportunity to run an online clinic, enabling them to reach and serve patients remotely through digital means. And also home visits, if they want to participate in that. Home visits can be done by a doctor or even sometimes by a nurse. And honestly, this sector, this particular part of the field hasn't really gotten the attention and recognition it truly deserves. It doesn't always have to be just a doctor. Sometimes someone simply needs an intramuscular injection and that's all.
You need something.
Like wound care, exactly. As for online consultations, I might be a doctor, but I don't have a clinic, or I have a clinic, but I'm not feeling well. Or for the patient as well. For example, I'm elderly. Patients, for example, or the elderly in general, haven't gotten the attention they deserve. They might not be able to come see you in person, so online consultations are easier for them. You can write their prescriptions, recommend certain things, and give them specific advice. This makes things easier instead of all the hassle of coming and going, getting in and out and so on. No, you just make things simpler for both the patient and the doctor. For example, a doctor who is available right now or has free time at this moment can use that time to create a virtual clinic where he can practice his work, help people, and also benefit himself in this way.
Nabdaat is a wonderful and beautiful experience. What did you move on to after Nabdaat, and why did you move to something alongside it? I mean, Nabdaat is still a startup, still at the beginning. So I thought, let me give all my time, effort, and focus to this project.
Honestly, I saw it as an opportunity. And, Imam Ali says, seize opportunities for the pass like clouds. I saw that it would benefit Nabdaat, and also that there was an opportunity for me to grow in this area, specifically in beauty products.
So here we are moving from services to products exactly. So what did we do then?
The roof is currently fine. ROOVA is a brand that aims to offer the quality of international products, but at local prices.
How do you achieve this cocktail?
It's a very difficult and complex equation, but thank God we managed to solve it here at ROOVA. I am proud to give you a level of quality that truly rivals international products, all at affordable local prices.
Can you give us an overview of the products? For example, is there a sunscreen? Is there a soothing cream? What products are you currently producing?
Currently, there are 8 products.
Nice.
Right now, we have 4 products in skincare and 4 in hair care. And we're also registering 10 new products. The hair care products included in this collection are shampoo, which is used for cleansing the hair, conditioner for smoothing and detangling, a nourishing hair mask for deep conditioning, and a leave-in conditioner that provides ongoing moisture and protection throughout the day. When it comes to the skincare products, these consist of a gentle facial cleanser to remove impurities, a revitalizing facial serum to nourish the skin, a rich and creamy body butter for intense hydration, and a lightweight body lotion that helps to keep the skin soft and moisturized.
Of course, if you're a man watching this kind of stuff, don't worry about it. Just give it a like, and you know what we're talking about. We have plenty of shampoos and creams, and in general, the medical products market and pharmaceuticals are highly competitive. It's true, for example, the market size in the kingdom is 37.5 billion riyals, which is about $10 billion. And in Egypt, it's 292, so a bit over 5 billion. So we're talking about a massive market. But on the other hand, the competition is a battle of giants. Why are you getting into this particular field and trying to compete in this space? There are already entities in it worth billions.
Well, to be honest, at first I was thinking about pharmaceuticals, which is great. But at the time, the issue was the instability of the dollar exchange rate. And also, the problem is that registering notifications as pharmaceuticals takes a very long time, 1.5 to 2 years. So the risk here is extremely high, especially since the prices of pharmaceutical notifications are fixed and you can't change them. Whereas with these issues, the registration process is much faster. Notifications for products, for cosmetics, it takes 6 months, from 3 to 6 months, and the pricing is also flexible. That's why I shifted towards cosmetics products. So why did you choose to enter this market? Because I wanted to prove that we are absolutely capable of doing something genuinely respectable and meaningful. Because usually, as you sometimes call it, we often have what you refer to as the so-called foreigner complex. No, we are actually capable of creating or producing something respectable and also at a good competitive price. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. Honestly, it's very difficult. And there are times when the challenges seem overwhelming. Sometimes striving for quality can actually work against you rather than for you, making things even more complicated. However, despite these obstacles, we remain fully committed to our goals and will continue to persevere. And our priority at ROOVA is to maintain high quality. So sometimes quality creates problems for you. What kind of problems? For example, when it comes to promotions, your competitors might offer 50% off or buy one, get one free because of their quality. I don't want to criticize anyone, but their quality just isn't like ours.
Their pricing is exaggerated, so they end up selling their product at 80 or 90% of the original price. So it doesn't matter to them if they take off 40 or 50%, they're still making a profit.
That's right. Whereas because I committed to quality, the basic or final cost of my product is very high. So my profit margin is quite small. So when I want to do promotions or things like that, I end up getting hurt. They do too, but thank God, I mean, the person handling our marketing is really solid and knows his job well. Thank God, we managed to overcome this issue in several ways.
So what are the main other challenges you faced when it came to starting companies?
Honestly, to be honest, it's not an easy matter. And by the way, neither the idea, nor the funding, nor even the official government paperwork is the real underlying problem. For me, the real challenge in any business or entrepreneurial venture is always the people, the team that will work alongside you in the company every single day. They have to truly believe in the idea you are presenting and fully support the direction you're heading in. Because, and honestly, at this time, that's a very difficult thing. But still, with patience, perseverance, and persistence, we managed to build a team. Thank God. They genuinely believe in our idea and the direction we are heading. Honestly, everyone is multitasking, which is actually good because they truly believe in what we're doing and can clearly see that there's a real and significant opportunity for this brand or company to grow and expand. And as a result, they grow together with it as well.
How do you convey these values to the team? I mean, let's say someone comes to me now for an interview and I have to decide whether to approve them or thank them and say goodbye. If someone isn't suitable, how do I first assess whether they have this sense of belonging or share these values and mindset? And then if I do approve them, how do I make sure they stay and that they actually become integrated and harmonize with the rest of the team?
There are several ways. First, did they even read about the company? Some people just send their CVs to places or apply for jobs. She doesn't know where she's going.
He just found a job. He sent an email to 20 companies and whoever replies, he goes with them regardless of the company.
Is he serious about his time or not? Did he come in wearing casual clothes or was he dressed formally, neat and presentable? Okay. Did he get exposed on certain points that show whether he actually understands or not? His way of dealing with the people who were there with cameras everywhere, and we were sitting there watching you, observing you, you know.
So it's not just about the interview, waiting and not knowing what's going on.
Even the person who serves you coffee, I watch to see if you speak to him politely or not. And he gives me feedback. All right, good. So that's another point. Okay. It becomes clear with experience, you know. Thank God, at first it was a bit tough, but now I can tell, like, I can see if this person is suitable or if there'll be a problem or if they understand but just aren't fit for the work environment because their ethics don't align with ours.
So when someone comes to you who is skilled but you have an ethical issue with them, whatever it may be, what is it exactly? Is it that they're not compatible with the culture of your organization? So do you say, since they are skilled, I'll try to change their behavior and make them better? Or do you just say, no thanks from the start? Goodbye.
To protect the healthy environment that I worked hard to create.
Okay, on the other hand, when someone comes to you who is honest, good and everything, but their competence isn't up to your expectations,
I keep them, train them, and work with them until they reach the required level.
At that point, the quality is achieved. You've ensured their ethics and behavior, and at the same time, you've guaranteed their quality as well. That's excellent.
I've seen that the opportunity for growth with them exists.
Are the benefits you offer as a manager or business owner to the incoming employee limited only to the financial aspect? I mean, some people always focus on just one thing. Someone tells you, I'll give you such and such salary. On the other hand, the employee starts to measure, are you going to give me 10, not 11, 15, 15?
Let me tell you, something quite interesting happened. Recent, one of the employees actually showed me an offer that he received from another company. The offer was for a position similar to his current one, but the salary was about 40 or 35% more than what he is earning here, which is a significant increase. A 40% increase over his current salary, exactly. And he refused to leave my company. He just wanted to show me and say, look, they're offering me this, but I'm sticking with you. Why, for example? Life isn't just about work. That's important. My employees are human beings. It's nice and wonderful, for example, before Ramadan, when expenses go up, to give them a bonus, help them out, give them an Eid gift. Every now and then you take them out for lunch, go out with them, break their routine. I'm the manager and you are the employee. No, come sit next to me and eat with me. It's fine. There's no problem at all. On the contrary, this way I've created a nice positive atmosphere, and it makes you feel like this is your place, and that if there's an opportunity for you to grow, or if you need something, maybe if you take a certain course, well, I might cover that cost so you can grow and in turn benefit me with your experience. When you take this course with me, it becomes a mutual benefit.
As an employee, I've grown as long as it's something new.
In the place where I am, anything in life or any relationship to last, it has to be win-win. You benefit and I benefit.
It's not about one side being drained while the other benefits. In Egypt, there's a common phrase, build the company.
Sometimes we stay at the company until 7 or 8 at night.
That's 2 or 3 hours after working hours, for example.
And let me tell you something. The next day, they come in exactly at 9, and sometimes I see them on the cameras from 8:30 or 8:45. Why do you think that is?
They just like the place. He won't give you more than you deserve unless he really likes the place, exactly. But other than that, you only have a set number of hours, like 9 to 5, 9 o'clock on the dot. Someone was talking to me. He was telling me, for example, I come before 9, but since it's 9 to 5, I don't go into the company, I just stand outside. Then when it's exactly 9, I go in, and when it's 5, I'm already gone because he can't stand the place he's in. He's just giving them exactly what they're owed, nothing more. Nice. What are the main qualities that you feel applicants are lacking these days and that you're really looking for, especially in the new generations, honestly? Exactly.
So, guys, let's join a place where we can actually make an impact, build it together, grow with it, and be a part of it. The company grows and becomes big, and we grow along with it. After all, any company in the end. Guys, when the company grows, is it going to bring in people from outside, or will it rely on the people it already knows, those whose loyalty and experience it trusts to take on the company's key positions?
Of course, the people who are already there should have priority.
So honestly, I really don't quite know why this particular idea is still missing for so many people out there.
Maybe it's the idea of being in a hurry, or appearances like wanting to say, I work at such and such company, or rushing because I don't want to start at a small company with an X salary, while I could start at an international company for, say, double that salary here.
It all comes down to a person's way of thinking. Nothing in life is easy come, easy go.
What comes easily goes easily, just like me.
And what comes quickly
disappears quickly. As an employee, when I choose a company, what should I prioritize? Should I focus only on the salary, or should I consider that this is a startup that could grow and I could grow with it? Or should I think about whether the environment is suitable for me or not? I want to know, as a manager, what is the priority?
For me, the work environment is definitely the most important factor.
Number one.
Then comes the salary, the package, and those things. If the work environment is healthy, it will even reflect on my relationship with my family. If I'm spending 8 or 9 hours in a place where I'm stressed, annoyed, suffocating, under pressure, and exhausted, I'll go home and take out that stress on them, the poor things. But when I'm in a place where I feel comfortable and happy, even if I'm under pressure from work, as long as I'm comfortable, then even my family, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with my wife, my friends, everything is better. I even feel at ease with myself, honestly. That's absolutely true.
There is There are some types of managers who might object a bit to this management style. They'll say, if I treat them too gently like this, people might slack off. But on the other hand, when I come in, shout, get angry, and so on, people give their maximum effort just to please me.
I'm not going to say it's right or wrong. I'll say that everyone should find the approach that suits them, their company, and their situation. I mean, to be honest as well, you can't be completely easygoing. And you can't be completely strict either. So be balanced. We have made you a middle nation, you know. I mean, don't go to either extreme, neither all the way to the right, nor all the way to the left. So make things easier for people if there's room to do so. But be firm and strict when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to specific deadlines or important matters. I mean, during that time, I respect you, appreciate you, and help you. If you need something I can help you with, I won't hesitate to support you. But when I say this needs to be finished at a certain time, then that's it. You have to stick to it.
I told one of the employees before, thank you very much. This is your last working day. So what were the problems then? Let's start with the details in general.
He was a manager.
So not just a regular employee.
Yes, he was directly under me and responsible for the team. I saw that either I keep him and let the team go, or I let him go and keep the team. Why? Because his approach, he understands his work, he achieves results, he performs well, he's skilled and respectful, but he has other inclinations.
His attitude, behavior, or ethics just didn't align with the company's culture. So thank you. Goodbye. Don't you ever think I'm cutting off his livelihood?
When you actually give him a warning, there are two sides to it.
So he's the one ending his own opportunity, and he's absolutely determined to do so. So with Nabdaat, do you have any other business with them?
Oh, they are now, right now.
First of all,
ROOVA and Nabdaat.
when do you think you'll say, I've achieved what I want with ROOVA?
Do you mean in terms of development and new things at the product level? In cosmetics, there's no real limit every period. New things come out with new capabilities. So this is part of the challenges we face. You have to keep up with the latest developments and maintain high quality if you want to be recognized and strong. That's why we attend conferences, travel, and visit different places and countries, even far apart, so we can always stay up to date.
Is the priority in the coming period to open new markets or to launch new products?
Monday.
Both are very good. Very good. Do you feel that people truly appreciate quality?
Yes, yes.
Even if
The proof is that of all the people who used our products, 80 to 85% of them came back and bought more products. Sometimes someone buys one thing, and when they come back, they take 3 or 4 items.
Wonderful, wonderful. Excellent, excellent. Let's move on now to the topic of social media. You only recently started your presence on social media. Mashallah, you've had great success and a positive impact. Do you think that nowadays an entrepreneur needs to focus a bit on social media, or should they follow the style of businessmen from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s? Completely away from the media in all its forms, just focusing on his factory, company, or the institution he's responsible for?
In my opinion, as people often say, every era has its own requirements.
Exactly.
So in our present time, I believe that a businessman's presence on social media platforms, it's not a luxury.
Necessity.
A necessity. That's one. Why? Because you need to be known and visible so you can even open up more opportunities and build more connections. I mean, through social media, I got to know several people I always wanted to meet, and I found that they were the ones reaching out to me.
They contact me. What are you trying to convey through your social media clips?
I try in every endeavor. I truly believe there must be a non-profit aspect. Yeah. Something aimed at human development. So part of the knowledge and understanding I have, what I learned and acquired during my master's degree or in the field of business administration, is that I always try to guide, support, and give advice to people so they can become more aware of themselves and grow. I mean, I genuinely want to be part of providing truly valuable and helpful information. I see that it has value based on my humble experience, of course, but it could be useful if someone hears it and acts on it.
What's the piece of advice that someone reached out to you about and said, thank you so much for saying that? It really made a difference for me.
Honestly, there's been more than one person.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But like, for example, some people rush into making a decision to enter a certain investment without doing thorough research on that field and understanding the risks that they could very likely encounter. Okay? And if they do run into those risks, how will they solve them or avoid them? Of course, it's always better to avoid them in the first place. But if, God forbid, things go wrong, what will you do to fix it? Everything has its own fundamentals, like, for example, a feasibility study from a specific place. And not just any feasibility study. You can't just take any feasibility study that's 3 or 4 pages long and go with it.
You can find those online now. Just download them.
No, that's not it. It has to be a thorough feasibility study, so you know exactly where you stand and whether this is really the best option, or maybe there are other choices with better results and in less time. The important thing is, did you study the market or not? This is the problem. Some people rush into making decisions. And then, as you have a saying, he got rich and it blinded him. Exactly like that.
Tech market research, for example, let's say in the restaurant business, I eat at restaurants. I see they have lots of customers. They're making money. Everything looks great. So that's my market research, right?
You studied the market. For example, you might be an excellent chef and cook extremely well, but your management style, your way of running things, your interactions or your connections might not be effective. If you open a restaurant, you'll fail. By the way, since we're talking about restaurants, there's now another option.
Virtual restaurants, or in other words,
with virtual restaurants, you don't need all that equipment, decor, and all that stuff. No. Our place is online. I operate through a specific e-commerce platform or something similar. So I take orders and operate with minimal costs to increase my profit margin.
But most restaurant owners who complain, they always complain. My initial setup costs are extremely high.
And the operating costs, rent, electricity, employees, all sorts of things, licenses and fines, and so on.
I started a cloud kitchen. You've bypassed all of that. And even if, God forbid, you don't succeed, like we talked about earlier, you're not gambling. It's an adventure or a calculated risk. And you just take a couple of steps back. In the end, the losses are contained and it won't be a devastating blow for you. In one of your videos, you talked about the most important period for any company, which is the first 90 days in the life of the company. So as a founder or manager of a company, what should I be paying attention to during those 90 days?
Everything.
How so? I come in and stay until 9 at night. I talk to people and do things.
9 at night is for the employees I have. 1 at night.
But I get things done.
By the way, one night I actually did that.
Brother, who exactly am I supposed to talk to about what? Should I be the kind of manager who makes everyone spy on everyone else?
There's really no choice here. Actually, let me just tell you a little story. One time I took a taxi. The taxi driver, I asked him, "How's work going for you?" He told me, "Life and work are great. The problem is the cars are available," meaning the ones who rent them to work as taxis. So the problem is with the people. By the way, what he said is true. When you choose the right people, nothing else will stop you. That's why you should always focus on choosing the right employees and creating a healthy environment. This will save you a huge headache. And the turnover that might happen, the problems, the unknowns, the arguments, and the lies. When you choose a team that's connected and understanding, even if they disagree, they don't turn things into something personal. And in the end, you're sure and confident that each of them, from their own perspective, believes what they're doing is right for the job or for the company.
It's not for personal reasons. Exactly.
It's not because so-and-so said something, so I have to say no.
Nice. So if we want to summarize here and put it figuratively, the secret to success is two things: the team and the culture or the environment, right? We need to pay attention to both of these. As a manager, can I accept criticism from employees who are lower than me on the organizational ladder?
Every so often, I sit down with the employees and ask them what issues they're facing. Come on, say it. What are you to create a better environment and be kind to yourself? I'm not in competition with others. My challenge is with myself to create the best version of myself or my company. What are the mistakes you see so we can fix and improve them? Okay, so this is the problem. What do you think is the solution to this problem? Because quite simply and easily,
There's a type of employee who only brings up problems.
well, that goes back to how the employee was chosen from
From the start, right? Is this a person who, for example, just gives you the problem? Or does he also say, I think we can solve it and here's how? If it's the latter, then he just wants to make things easier for you.
Exactly. See how choosing the right person makes things easier? Even if there's a problem, he'll handle it and say, by the way, this was the problem and we solved it this way. But I just thought I should let you know.
Good. As a manager, if I make a mistake, mistakes can happen, maybe in reports or something. Is it possible for me to apologize to the employees who work with me? Of course, that won't diminish my standing. It won't make them lose confidence in my decisions or anything like that.
Exactly. And I do that myself.
You've apologized to them before? Of course.
Of course, even with the youngest person, you see that office boy I have. To me, he's the most important one.
Amir Rasul, excellent. It really is the idea of culture that governs everything. I mean, yes. Speaking of charitable initiatives, Nabdaat had one of the initiatives for relief in disaster-stricken areas. Let's talk about Algeria.
Look, engineer, in my opinion, corporate social responsibility is one of the fundamental pillars of a company's success. Therefore, the charitable work a company does, in my view or in my management style, guarantees after God Almighty that this company will endure. In our faith, there's a saying, a boat that carries something for God's sake is protected by God. Something that has a blessing won't sink.
Exactly. You really are full of Egyptian proverbs, mashallah.
That's because I studied with you guys. So as a result, I love the culture or the Egyptian mindset,
Go ahead, continue.
All right. So the boat that has something for God in it won't sink. Here, when you do something good, the pound you spend comes back to you tenfold. And I'm not just saying this randomly, I saw it with my own eyes. In several situations, and I won't mention those situations, but I saw this with my own eyes, this initiative. At Nabdaat, we believe that life and health care are basic rights for every human being. So we try to provide various opportunities and offer all the necessary resources available to us in the company to all the affected areas, as this is a social responsibility that the company fulfills. In addition, as Nabdaat, we have also sponsored the treatment of 2 cases involving prosthetic limbs.
Are you offering the initiative service and support online, or is it on the ground?
No, we provide it online.
So, for example, if there is a patient or someone in need, they connect with a doctor and the other party joins online as well.
We provide our system, meaning we connect both parties, the doctor. And I must emphasize that this is a humanitarian initiative. It is charitable and free of charge from our side and from the doctors who want to take part in this opportunity. The opportunity is their teamenot, that they have to physically go to these places, which they might not be able to reach. So we connect them virtually so that they can provide advice or medical consultation to both the patient who needs this service and the doctor who is present at the location. As a result, sometimes the doctor there might need advice, whether they are a general practitioner or a specialist. But this is from outside. Location, a consultant discusses with him and provides solutions to issues he's facing.
We will ask you for the initiative's link and leave it in the description box. There could also be a QR code displayed on the screen. So if anyone needs to contact you about it, God willing. Now, regarding the future, what are your plans? What are you aiming to achieve in the coming period?
We will grow and expand in Nabdaat through phase 2, God willing, soon. As for ROOVA, we aim to expand the portfolio and products and to take the distinguished Egyptian product to global markets, God willing.
Beautiful. Who is the most influential person in your life?
Who is the most influential person in my life? Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
What did you learn from him?
I learned to set a vision and strive to achieve it calmly and with quality.
That's beautiful. It is the most correct decision. When you look back at your career, is there a decision you say, thank God I made that choice?
That was when I made the important decision to enter the field of investment and to study for an MBA degree.
Great. If I ask you to summarize, what's the most important thing you gained from your MBA?
That you learn whether something is truly an opportunity or not.
And evaluate the opportunity.
Evaluate the opportunity. And by the way, a lot of people have asked me, Egyptians usually go to Saudi Arabia or leave Egypt. So why are you going to Saudi Arabia? Egypt. All right? Egypt is a big country. And by the way, it's an excellent market for those who know how to seize opportunities. Plus, it offers a really great possibility to establish things or companies on a small scale. So you can fine-tune your quality, make adjustments, and improve things up to a certain level. That way, you can launch from there, not just establish the business, but also manage operations at a cost that allows you to achieve the highest productivity and quality possible. And then, of course, we'll return to the Gulf and Saudi Arabia.
Excellent. So your vision is that Egypt serves as an incubator for the idea, where you test it at a lower cost and with more human resources, so that when it succeeds, you can start rolling it out to other regions, whether in Saudi Arabia, the Gulf, or elsewhere, right? Excellent. On the other hand, what's the decision? If you could go back in time, is there a decision you wouldn't make again? Something you'd say no to because it wasn't the best choice?
Well, I definitely did benefit from it. Look, even disasters. I once watched documentary about volcanoes.
Oh.
Yes, by God's mercy. Look, even in a calamity, you can find an opportunity to benefit from something. Yes, this volcano or the lava, they call it volcanic lava, when it erupts, It can burn and destroy everything in its path. But this lava actually contains the elements of life and the chance for a new beginning. So when you understand this concept, you don't regret anything.
Right? Should continuous learning be an essential trait in an entrepreneur's life?
Of course, because life is continuously and constantly changing in our daily lives and is fast paced, and the market is dynamic and changes almost daily. So you have to develop yourself every day in order to keep up and move forward on this path.
I'm a recent graduate. I don't have Dr. Ali's experience, so I want to learn. But with so many sources and all this scattered information, I no longer know what I should be learning. And when? Is there a specific path you would recommend?
Even if, after you graduate, get a job in a place you think is important for you to work in and gain experience, and try to attend courses, conferences, and things like that. At a certain point, you'll become an expert in it. After that, you'll be able to rely on yourself and establish your own company.
Do I have to have a mentor or advisor? And what are the qualities they should have? There are so many people nowadays claiming to be mentors. So how do I know if someone is actually a suitable mentor for me or just someone trying to sell me empty words?
Look, the greatest and most prominent figures in the world all have mentors. They consult with them and take their advice in various fields. But as for telling you exactly who to go to, that's difficult, because I need to know who you should go to and for what. So that's your responsibility or your duty to figure out what you need. Ask around, search, listen, and even attend free online courses. Listen and read, and through what you read, you'll know if you've reached a certain level of maturity. You'll be able to say, this person understands, or this one is completely off track.
What is the first stage then? Okay, now I feel ready to start my own business.
Honestly, if you can cover all your needs, I always advise that you start as an employee and gain experience. And after that, you can start your own business. While you're still employed, keep diversifying your sources of income in different ways. When you feel that these sources of income are enough to support you and your needs, and you have a safety net or savings account that can cover you, your family, and your partner for 6 months to a year, then go ahead, strive, and put your trust in God.
So secure yourself and your project first.
And read and work on developing yourself while you're still an employee.
At the end of this episode, we just have 2 quick questions. We won't take up more of your time. The first question, as an entrepreneur, if I came to you and asked, please give me one piece of advice to follow in a single sentence, what would it be?
Don't rush into an investment without researching it first. Take your time, at least 3 to 6 months. Go out, search, read, research, travel, and look at different business models in the area you want to invest in so you can find the best business model.
Should I share my findings with others or keep them to myself and do my research alone?
On the contrary, I believe that those who seek advice never fail. But you should consult a specialist, not just anyone you can find. You can do that because when you ask for the opinion of an expert, You're actually gaining a part of their experience and knowledge. So as you say in Egypt, two minds are better than one.
That's true, but isn't there a risk that my idea could get stolen, for example?
Go to someone you trust, who is an expert, and pay them money so they won't steal your idea.
So you mean I have to pay someone just to get their opinion?
Yes, by the way, planning is the most important and critical stage of the entire project. If you don't take your time and put in the effort to plan, study, and ask questions, and gather all the relevant information, like who you start with, where and how, when, in how long, all these questions need to have a clear, detailed vision, completely clear. And to do that, you have to study, review, plan, add and remove things, erase, go back, ask again, go and come back, so you can make sure you've put in the right effort. And after you've done your part, leave the rest to God. God willing, I will not go down.
With his blessings.
Just like youth is why it fails.
But that's just relying on luck, not true reliance on God. True reliance, as you mentioned, means taking the necessary steps. It means putting in effort, doing everything you can.
And seizing opportunities. Sometimes the opportunity is there and available, but only for those who grab it quickly.
In the first project I'm establishing, I see an opportunity, as you mentioned. So should I invest other people's money and gather 3 or 4 of my friends and family, have each one put in some money and we go in together? Or since this is my first project, should I fund it with only my own money?
By God, if they were convinced by the idea after I shared it with them, they would now consider themselves angels investors.
Angel investors.
Exactly, why not? But they need to be aware that there's a possibility of loss. And if that happens, they shouldn't hold you responsible.
So we're not in it for the profit.
But we're in it for both profit and loss, just to make that absolutely clear and explicit. If they agree, then having them on board and having cash available, my friend, will always help you overcome many obstacles and also allow you to launch more strongly, which will speed up your path to your goal.
Without me painting them an overly rosy picture. I mean, some founders get really enthusiastic about their project. So when he goes to talk to an investor, even if it's one of his friends or acquaintances, he only shares the positive side. For example, he'll say the media landscape is very important and so on. But he doesn't mention the competition, obstacles in the market, or any of those things, which isn't right. To be honest, we have to present the full picture, both positives and negatives. And this is a startup project. The risk level is high. If you want to get involved in the situation,
Hello.
I don't exactly want to thank you. Should all the terms of the agreement be written down, or are verbal agreements enough? Of course not.
Everything must be written and documented. And also, you're not just bringing people in for their money. I also prefer, my own style is to bring people in based on their expertise and how their involvement will benefit the project. For example, if someone understands IT, I bring him in as a partner so he can handle that area and be responsible for it. If someone understands marketing, I bring him in and tell him, you're my partner, but you need to handle the marketing part, follow up on it, and be responsible for it, not just put in money. And that's it.
That way, you're not just ensuring loyalty, but even more than loyalty. After all, it's his project too, so he'll definitely give it more than his all. Last question. If we switch places, who would you invite as a guest for your episode?
Yasser Al-Rumayyan. Honestly, he's a very influential and inspiring figure for me. And I would really love, if the opportunity ever arises, to meet him one day and have a detailed interview with him.
Of course, it would be an honor for us, but the interview would have to be on our show, of course. Absolutely. It would be a privilege. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you with us. It was a wonderful interview. We learned a lot from you. Thank you very much. Nice meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll see you in a new episode of the podcast. Thank you very much.